This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If your roof starts to leak or your floor's really squeak, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segretti, and with me is my longtime friend and the Money Pit producer and engineer, Jim Kenzie. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm doing great. This is a little swan song kind of thing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it really is kind of a special show. It's our very last episode after, well, I've been with you guys 21 incredible years, and we've, of course, been helping you make your home safer and more beautiful and a whole lot less of a money pit, right?
Amen. Amen.
I mean, it's so crazy, Jim.
I think it's been a great trip for me personally because I've learned so much that I was able to apply, on my own home, as well as now people call and, hey, I need some advice on this, that. You're like the home improvement kind of guy, aren't you? I'm like, well, I've learned some stuff. I wouldn't call it that, but, you can help out some friends, and it's cool. It's cool. I learned a bunch.
I mean, I've definitely learned a ton. I've learned a ton from you. I've learned a ton from Tom. I've learned a ton from our listeners who've called in and helped us take them on these journeys. And, as we begin this final broadcast, I really want to take a moment to thank you guys, our listeners, who've been with us through all kinds of projects, big and small, through design dilemmas, renovation victories, and of course the occasional DIY mishap. I mean, you all definitely made the show what it is. And of course, I think our heart is definitely with our longtime host, Tom Kraeutler. His expertise, his humor, and his steady hand definitely shaped this program from day one. And I hope that I get to carry his voice with me, through every tip that we share with you all today. So let's dive into this final journey together, starting with something that sets the stage for a successful year ahead. So coming up, if home projects are on your list for 2026, whether it's a big renovation or you're finally tackling that small fix you keep putting off, we've got a smart budgeting plan that will help you avoid surprises and prioritize the right upgrades and, of course, stretch your dollar even further. And if you're craving a fresh look at home, stick around. We're going to share timeless design upgrades that never go out of style and will give you long-term value, whether you are planning to stay forever or you're getting ready to sell. And for our final segment of this hour, we're going to share the home maintenance essentials that we want every homeowner to know, the things that prevent the most common and expensive problems. So consider it the ultimate money pit checklist. But first, we want to help you create your best home ever. So whether you're doing the job yourself or hiring a pro, we are ready to help you get that job done right. During this final show, we thought it was only fitting to play some Tom and Leslie calls. Here's one of them. Heading on down to Daytona Beach, Florida, we've got Tom on the line. Yes, there are other Toms in this country. And Tom wants to talk to Tom about a plumbing project. What's going on?
I'm trying to change the shutoff valve on the toilet. And I've been trying to, educate myself a little bit because right now it's got the compaction screw on right now with the little band. And I'm thinking about, either putting it with the shark bite type of replacement. And then I'm curious about whether or not I've got to trim back the copper line with where that compression nut went because I think it kind of leaves an indentation in there. Or can I reuse the existing compression nut? Kind of what am I up against if I try to change those? Because I got about 10 of them in the house I want to do.
Okay, so you want to change the valve, though, right?
Yes. Sorry, the shutoff valve.
So what you need to do is you need to trim back that pipe to a point where you have sort of the original shape of the pipe. If the pipe was damaged, if it was crushed, if it was dented, you're going to have a real problem using a compression fitting like a shark bite valve. But beyond that, what I would recommend is since you have only 10 to do, I would pick up a pipe cutter, a little handheld pipe cutter. It's about the size of a $50. It's really small. And you can buy more expensive ones, but you clamp that onto the pipe, spin it around. You'll get a really clean cut, square cut. And then I would take a piece of like emery cloth and I would sort of buff it so that you get all the tarnish off that area. And I like to just take any burrs off because it's got to be a really clean fit. And then once you've got it a clean fit like that, you just slip that new compression valve right on there and you're pretty much good to go. I've used these many, many times on plumbing projects. And I'll tell you what, they are a dream, not only on toilets, but I've used them for water valves, taking water from one side of the house to another or going into a water heater or something of that nature. I think once you start working with them, you'll really appreciate it. There's also a little ring that either comes with the compression valve or you can buy it separately. And it's a really handy tool because it's a remover. So if you make a mistake, it will release the pressure on the compression so you can actually pull it off and try it again. But I've had very good success with them. I've never had any leak either on installation or over the long haul. And of course, you need to make sure the water's completely off before you do this, most likely at the main water valve. One thing that messes up this project is if you can't get the water turned all the way off, you got to keep going back and back and back to find a valve that will completely shut it off.
All right. Well, that's very, very helpful. I appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. Good luck with that project, Tom.
Okay. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Mindy needs some help fixing a stone porch. Tell us what's going on.
We have a question about fixing a front stone porch. We want to fix the joint. Do you want me to use Quikrete with the red stripe that says corner and edges, or do you want me to use Type S mortar mix? Also, on the steps at the back, I see a crack. Do you want me to use the concrete and mortar acrylic sealant that comes in a tube and you stick in a caulk gun for that? And another question is at the back of the house, at the bottom of the red brick where it meets a large concrete patio, there used to be concrete there and it broke off. And at that place, to seal that up, do you want me to use the concrete and mortar acrylic sealant that comes in the tube and you stick in a caulk gun?
So, Mindy, a couple of things. First of all, if you have cracks that you're trying to fill, Quikrete does make a product that is specifically for that. It's called the Concrete Crack Sealant. And it is good for cracks that are up to a half-inch wide. And they like it because it's pourable. So it sort of flows into those cracks and then is self-leveling, so you don't have to worry about troweling on. Now, if you found areas of that porch where the concrete is broken away and you have some deteriorated surface, sometimes surface gets worn from maybe using too much salt on it in the winter, there's another product that is fairly new. It's maybe 3 or 4 years old, but it's really terrific. And it's called Recap, R-E-C-A-P, and it's a concrete resurfacer. So this can do two things for you. If you mentioned some areas where there were some missing chunks. If you mix it up to sort of a trowel-like consistency, you can patch those areas, then smooth it out, and then you could put another layer of the Recap across the whole surface, and it'll look like a brand new concrete surface when it's all done. The nice thing about the Recap is it's designed specifically to stick to old concrete. So if you're trying to fix a sidewalk, a pool deck, a concrete floor, a driveway, it works for all of those surfaces, and it doesn't chip and fall off. It's a really super strong product because they've designed that bond into it so it just doesn't separate from the old surfaces underneath.
Hey, Money Pit Podcast fans, you want to help us out? Well, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we're going to give you a virtual high five. Plus, you'll be helping us spread the word about our show. Just go to moneypit.com/review. Well, we are wrapping up our very last week here at the Money Pit, and maybe you still have a weekend project or something that you're looking ahead to, or perhaps a new project. Well, you'll still be able to find great DIY info on our Money Pit podcast at moneypit.com/podcast or wherever you enjoy your pods. All right, Jim, let's get back to our callers.
Hey, Leslie, if this is our last week, does that mean we can give wrong advice on purpose and they'd have to come find us?
I don't think so, but we could try something silly for a goof. No, Jim, we always have to give the right answer. That's just what we do here at the Money Pit.
Ah, okay. Well, speaking of, the Money Pit live shows may be going away, but MoneyPit.com will continue to keep all the archives and back information that'll be useful for years to come.
Well, here's another Tom call. Going to chat with Robert in Tennessee, who seems to be an easy target at his store space. You've been broken into 45 times?
Yep.
That is just insane. What is going on at your business?
Well, I do a Christmas craft, and apparently they lost my tools. And then they break in, they steal my tools and locks and everything else.
That's awful. That's awful. That's awful. So how can we help you, Robert?
Well, I need some kind of security light.
Mm-hmm.
And Appalachia won't put a pole up there because it's too close to the driveway.
Right.
Is there any way that you can get some kind of security light to go on the building?
Motion detection spotlights are available, and I think you definitely, if I was you, I'd have some pretty high-powered LED lights on all sides of this building, and so that when a person approaches the building, the lights come on and surprise them. The other thing that you should be aware of is that a lot of the security systems today, the camera systems, have monitoring. So, it's not like the alarm system where the old alarm systems where they send you a text alert or something if you're getting broken into. But I have a system from a company called Deep Sentinel, and you can get 1 camera, 2 cameras, 3 cameras. And what's really interesting about this is if they don't recognize you, if you appear to be suspicious, the guards are watching these darn things 24/7 at a central monitoring station, and they have a speaker in the camera, and they'll come right out and say, this is Deep Sentinel. Can I help you with something? We're monitoring the property. Who are you? What are you doing here? Do you have permission to be here? That sort of thing. It's funny, on their website, they show you all these burglars that get totally surprised by this. But it's a fascinating system, and technology is there today to make that possible and to make it reasonably affordable, especially when you've lost so many tools. You got to look at the cost of that. But I would say lighting is a really simple approach. So set up some motion-activated spotlights. Think about adding some cameras that are monitored just like that, and I think that will definitely help secure your place.
I enjoy your program every evening on a Sunday, and I enjoy my coffee when I listen to you. Okay.
Wow, all right. Coffee with the Money Pit. Hey, Robert, good luck. Take care now.
Okay.
Well, as we head into a brand new year and the start of a brand new chapter for all of us, this is the perfect moment to talk about planning your 2026 home projects. And a solid budget is definitely the foundation of every successful project, big or small. And after more than 2 decades of answering your calls, I've seen exactly where homeowners thrive and where they run into trouble. Now, the best way to start any project plan is with a project hierarchy. And that's something Tom would speak about often. Safety first, efficiency second, maintenance third, and beautifying the space last. And it's kind of a simple formula, but it will save you money every single time. So you do want to start with safety. If you have electrical issues, roof leaks, foundation cracks, or anything that poses a risk, that's got to go to the top of your list. Fixing cosmetic things before addressing safety always ends up costing more in the long run. Now, you want to look for energy and efficiency upgrades. These are the projects that pay you back. Better insulation, air sealing, upgrading your old appliances, or just opting for more efficient HVAC systems, they're going to save you money every single month, even though there is that cost up front. Now, plan for maintenance, things like exterior paint, sealing the driveway, servicing the HVAC system. That will prevent bigger repairs later and save all the nice looking things for last. Cabinet refinishing, painting upgrades, new lighting. These are the fun projects. And with essentials handled first, these upgrades will feel even better. So let's talk about numbers now. You want to add up your projected costs and then add 10 to 20% as a contingency. Unexpected expenses do happen. They happen all the time, even on small projects. And sometimes these unexpected projects happen that you weren't planning on at all, and they can be super expensive. That's how 2025 was for me. Air conditioning, water heater, things that I was not planning on spending bucks on, but you kind of had to. Now, when it comes to hiring those pros, always get 3 estimates, but don't just compare the price, compare the scope of work, the materials, the warranties, the timeline. A low bid isn't a bargain if half of that work or half of the materials just aren't included. And remember the seasons. Some projects are more affordable at certain times of year. Painters, roofers, landscapers, they often offer early season or late season deals. And finally, know when to DIY and know when to call that pro. And I'll say this as clearly as Tom always did. Your time has value, but safety has even more. So with a smart plan, a realistic budget, and a clear sense of priorities, 2026 can be your most successful year of home improvements yet. And hopefully some new exciting adventures for Jim and myself. We've got Crystal on the line who's dealing with some banging pipes. What's going on at your money pit?
I recently had my bathtub replaced, and since then, every time we use the bathtub faucet or shower, we have like rumbling or vibration through all of our pipes in the basement. So I don't know what could be causing that. I'm wondering if it was something that would happen during the previous installation, because it didn't happen until after we had this new tub installed. So thanks for your help.
Hey, Crystal, this sounds a lot like what we call water hammer. And water hammer happens because as the water runs through the pipes and then the valves get opened and closed, it keeps moving. That centrifugal force keeps moving and it can shake the pipes. Now, with the bathtub being installed, I wonder if they ran some new plumbing to that and did not secure these pipes well enough against the floor structure or wall structure. If you could get to the area where the pipes are making all of this racket, you can easily add some pipe brackets there. They sell them based on the size of the pipe in home centers and hardware stores. They're very easy to install, and you can secure these loose pipes. Now that I've told you what to look for, I bet you that if you run the tub and then turn it on, turn it off, if you have somebody do that, and then maybe you're down in the basement or the other person's down in the basement, you will see the cause of this noise. You'll even be able to grab the pipe with your hand and it'll stop making the noise. So I think these are loose pipes that weren't attached strongly enough. And once you secure them, that you'll get pipes that are quiet once again. Good luck.
Jack Daniels is proudly served in fine establishments, questionable joints, and everywhere in between. So, no matter where you go in every bar, you'll always know someone by name.
Jack. Jack and Coke?
Shot of Jack?
Jack Daniels, please.
Right away.
That's what makes Jack, Jack.
Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks. Tennessee whiskey. 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery. Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Close your eyes. Exhale. Feel your body relax and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS. We've got Terry on the line from Hanover, Pennsylvania. Terry's got a question about a roof. What's going on?
Hi, I have a glass sunroom that the snow accumulates on, and it just comes down in sheets. And I wanted to know what I could do for that.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because the glass, I'm sure, is pretty slippery, and the sunroom is going to get warm from the inside, and that's going to cause melting, and then that's going to let that snow slide down. Now, in an asphalt shingle roof, there are brackets that can be put in that will catch and hold those sort of chunks of slabs of snow until they melt more slowly. But I don't know if there's a way to add anything like that to a glass roof that you might have in a sunroom. But basically, these ice guards, or they're called, are sort of like brackets that slip up under the shingles and then sort of slip out onto the roof, and they stop big sheets of snow and ice from coming down and hitting people below. You might want to see if the manufacturer of this sunroof, usually you'll find a manufacturer's name stamped somewhere in there, offers that kind of an additional bracket, and think about and see if you can add it or if you could replicate this concept. But other than that, I don't think this is anything that that is easy to fix other than, replacing this with glass that's more insulated.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
I'm Leslie Segretti, and with me is Jim Kenzie. And this is, of course, the very last week of the Money Pit. Kind of bizarro, Jim, right?
Yeah, it is. It's very odd because it's like, you kind of get in your routine and you look forward to certain things, other things you've got deadlines to meet and all that stuff. And it's definitely going to be weird, but who knows what the future holds? Things always seem to turn out. Ever notice that? Yeah.
And I promise you, Jimmy, I've got your back forever and ever.
And I will find you, Segretti. I'll find you.
And of course, you all, we still will have your back. We're going to be still running old episodes of the Money Pit podcast, and the moneypit.com website will still continue. I'm not sure what that content's going to look like going forward, but it will be there for you with all of the classics. And we'll see where the Kreitler family goes forward with that. But for Jim and I, this is our last week with you all. And, we just want to wish you guys the best. And we want to help you out. So get to the phones. Jimmy, who's next?
Here's some good advice Tom laid upon us.
Heading out to Connecticut, where we've got George on the line, who's got a concrete paver project. How can we help?
I have some pavers that I'm going to be putting down in the backyard. And I know that they'll migrate and separate if you don't lock them in. And I was wondering, I know the professionals use mortar mix or cement, and they dig down around them and they put a row of or a line of cement down. Is that a good way of doing it? And if so, how deep would you go with the cement, and how wide would the trench be to lock those pavers in?
So typically you will be building that pad for the pavers probably I'd say at least 8 inches wider than what you're going to need, so that you have a little bit of an area where you can lay in some concrete on sort of a 45-degree angle and sort of support that outside lip of those pavers. Or there are products that are basically border edging products that are flexible, that you can essentially wind around that brick edge, and then you attach them down by stakes, and you won't have to do the concrete as well. It's a lot neater way to go. That also has the advantage of being able to be disassembled if you ever have to kind of work on that paver edge, or you want to expand the patio or something of that nature. So take a look at the paver patio edging. You'll find it at home centers. You'll find it on Amazon. People have very good success with it, and I think that's definitely an option. But in any event, you need to prep that base a lot wider than what you think you're going to need. Because when you let's say you're going to do a 4-foot wide walkway, and you only prep or with compressed soil and sand and stone a 4-foot wide section, well, that's not going to work because the edge is going to collapse. So you got to go wider than what you want the finished pavers to do. The grass will grow over that area that you've compressed underneath the pavers, but if you don't make it a little bit wider than what you need, you will find that edge is going to turn a lot quicker.
That sounds like a winner.
All right. Well, good luck with that project. If you start it now, it'll be ready for spring, right?
That's right. Thank you.
Over the years, one thing that I've learned, and I've shared so often on the show, is that trends come and go, but good design stays. So if you want to update your home in a way that still feels beautiful 10 or 20 years from now, here are the upgrades that really do hold up. So let's start with paint. Now, this is the most transformative design tool that you have. Neutrals like soft grays, warm whites, classic earth tones, they never go out of style. I promise you that the paint itself will need to be refinished before those colors need to be changed. So keep in mind that those are the colors that will play well with every decor shift that you make over the course of that paint's lifetime. Now, next is lighting. You want to replace those dated fixtures with clean, simple, well-scaled designs, and that will instantly elevate your space. And always choose warm, energy-efficient bulbs. They do make every room feel inviting. I have to tell you, Jim, I've been continuing this experiment in our home bathroom. I have, 2 mirrors with 2 lights next to them. One, I have warm, energy-efficient bulbs, and when I have like a cooler tone.
Okay.
I keep waiting for somebody to be like, oh, this one's weird, or I prefer shaving here, or, but no one has said a thing. No one has said a thing. This is me living with 4 dudes.
See, I'm a nutcase, Leslie. I've got everything at 5,600K in the house. Everything looks like sunlight. Yeah.
That is you. So it's like I find I prefer blow drying my hair in the warmer light, but when I put on my makeup, I step over to the other one.
Really?
And I'm like,
really?
I can't believe that no one has said a thing.
That's funny.
So we'll see. Maybe for the next 10 years, it'll be like that before I have to replace those bulbs. But I know at least to step to one side for one thing and step to the other for the other. All right, back to it, you guys. You know, a quick, affordable upgrade, if you're looking for one that will completely refresh a room, is changing out the hardware. So think about the cabinet pulls, the door handles, the faucets, brushed nickel, matte black, warm brass. Those tones all sort of stand the test of time when you use them consistently. You know, mixing those tones was a thing for a bit, but I kind of feel like matching everything is back. And brass, bronze, all of that does stick around. You can kind of sort of choose between a gloss or a matte, well, shiny or a matte, I should say. But that's totally your call. But those finishes really do work consistently. Now, flooring, it's a big investment, so choose carefully. Hardwood or high-quality engineered hardwood is always a classic. And if you prefer something more durable, consider a luxury vinyl plank with a natural wood look. It's incredibly resilient and it's kid and pet friendly. And in the kitchen, focus on function. Deeper drawers instead of lower cabinets, pull-out shelves, a hard-working island. Beauty is wonderful, but function is what's going to last. And after 21 years of helping you all navigate design choices, I'll tell you this. The homes that age best are the ones built around your real life, not the trends that you see on social media. So keep things simple, functional, and beautiful, and your design choices will never feel dated.
This message may be shocking to many millennials. If you are one, you might want to sit down. Right now, loads of people are searching the following on Depop. Low-rise jeans, halter top, velour tracksuit, puka shell necklace, disc belt. You likely placed these in the dark of your closet in 2004, never to be seen again. But if you can find it in yourself to dust them off, there are a lot of people who will give you money for them. Sell on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
So good, so good, so good.
Give big, save big with Rack Friday deals at Nordstrom Rack. For a limited time, take an extra 40% off red tag clearance for a total savings up to 75% off. Save on gifts for everyone on your list from brands like Vince, Cole Haan, Sam Edelman, and more. All sales final and restrictions apply. The best stuff goes fast, so bring your gift list and your wish list to your nearest Nordstrom Rack today.
Pete's on the line and needs some help with insulating in the basement ceiling. What's going on?
I am beginning the process of finishing my basement. And one of the things I'm looking for is a good solution to insulate the ceiling of the basement between the floor joists. And I am considering foam insulation. Is that a good option? Are there other options I should consider? I plan to put a drop ceiling in or leave the ceiling exposed. I don't want to drywall it in.
Hey, Pete. So first of all, you mentioned there at the end of your question that you did not want to drywall the ceiling because you want to have access to the pipes. So if that's the case, you definitely don't want to use spray foam insulation because you will not have easy access to those pipes. Now that leaves two types of batt insulation, either fiberglass batt or rock wool batt, mineral wool batt, also called thermal fiber. The difference is thermal fiber is fireproof and it's also soundproof, a little more expensive, but it's a better insulator. I use that in my house. Or you can use fiberglass insulation. It's actually a lot easier to use than it was in the past. Owens Corning has a product called Next Gen where they've reformulated the fiberglass insulation. So it's a lot easier to handle, to cut, not nearly as itchy and that sort of thing. But you definitely don't want to go with foam because when you go with foam insulation, you're going to basically seal all of those pipes in. And if you do have a repair to make, it's not going to be very easy at all. You'll have to strip all that foam off and it's kind of a pain in the neck. You know, it's a great product for certain areas, but basement ceilings, I don't think so. I would use it just on the box beams around the foundation perimeter, but not across the basement ceiling. All right. I hope that helps you out. Good luck with that project and let us know if you have more questions.
Remember, guys, all of the old episodes of the Money Pit podcast will still be available at moneypit.com/podcast and on your favorite pod platforms. And the Money Pit website will stay there for you guys to find all your favorite old articles and all your tips and things that you need to sort of get your checklists in order for your very own Money Pit. All right, Jim, let's jump back into some of our classic Money Pit calls with Tom. Who's next?
Here's a call, Leslie, from one of our friends down south.
David in Texas is on the line. What can we help you work on this weekend?
I've got a stained patio, concrete patio that was done when they built my house, and it's faded from the sun, but when you wet it with water, it looks like it was when they did it. Is there something I could put on that?
Yeah. So the wet look is working for you, in other words.
Yes.
So, I mean, there are a number of different products out there that will work really, really well with concrete patios. So, I mean, you can always stain the patio, which will change it, will make it more uniform, and it may blend in that stain. But I think you might be better off looking at one of the refinishing products. One of our sponsors is a company called Daich, D-A-I-C-H, Daich Coatings. They've got a bunch of different patio and pool surround finishes, and many of them use real stone as part of their makeup. And so you can have a finish that looks like marble, or it has a decorative sort of epoxy grade to it. There's a lot of different options to it. I would take a look at some of those products and maybe think about how that might work for you, because it's a lot less expensive than replacing the patio, and they're really durable finishes.
Do they offer like a clear?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They definitely have clear finish. And you're thinking that if you put the clear on, that might just make it all an even color. I would try to test it just to make sure it's going to come out the way you expect. But, yeah, they do have a clear epoxy finish, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, because they did the inside of the house is done the same, and we have big bay windows, and so you see the outside and the inside, and it's just kind of uniform.
Yeah, there's a product called a heavy-duty epoxy clear coat.
Okay, well, I'll give that a try then. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks so much for calling us. Bye-bye.
Well, if I could leave listeners with just one set of home improvement fundamentals, it would be this checklist. Now, these are the habits that keep your home healthy and your budget intact, and they're the things Tom and I talked about year after year because they never stopped being important. So start with your gutters and your grading. Clean those gutters twice a year and make sure the soil around your home slopes away from the foundation. Most basement leaks start right at the roof line. So check your roof annually for missing shingles, flashing issues, or damaged vents. Those small fixes now will prevent major repairs later. Next, insulation and drafts. You want to look for gaps around your windows and doors, seal those attic hatches, and upgrade insulation where you can. Your energy bills and your comfort will thank you. Now for your HVAC system, change those filters every 1 to 3 months and schedule annual service. It will extend the system life, and it does improve your air quality. In your water heater, flush that sediment yearly to improve efficiency and prevent overheating. Every few months, you want to run through your plumbing valves, make sure they open and close easily so you can shut things off quickly in an emergency, and test your smoke and carbon monoxide alarms and replace those units that have expired. They're small investments, but they are super ridiculously important. And finally, dryer vent maintenance. Clean the hose and the exterior vent to reduce those fire risks. It is one of the most overlooked but critical tasks. These basics, they might not be flashy, but they are definitely the backbone of a safe, efficient, and long-lasting home. And if there was one philosophy Tom championed more than any other, it was this: maintenance first, repairs second. I'm Leslie Segretti, and I have a very excited Jim Kenzie across from me who just...
Mr. Cotter!
Emails! I know, Jim, you love this part. And so, for the last few hours here of the Money Pit, what do you got for us in the email?
Who we have is John, and he's asking, is there a way to keep snow from forming at the edge of my roof and collapsing the gutters?
Well, I mean, you're going to get a lot of snow, and there are ways to stop that. So what you're describing here, John, is essentially called an ice dam. You're calling it snow, but really it's ice that forms at the edge of the roof. And the first thing is understanding why this happens. So imagine that the area right above the interior of your house, when you get to the attic, that's going to be warmer than the area of your roof where it overhangs the exterior wall. So because your insulation probably needs to be improved, a lot of that warmth from your house is going up, getting into the attic space. It kind of melts that snow, which is directly above that living space, and then it runs down and starts to freeze at that roof edge where it overhangs and is super cold. And that's what leads to this heavy chunk of ice that can bust up the gutters. And in worst case scenarios, it can actually cause a leak because that water will hit that ice dam and then reverse and go back up under the shingles and then potentially leak into the house. So the way that you can fix this is really two things. Right now, what you should be doing is adding more insulation to your attic space. Most homes just don't have enough. And if you don't have 15 to 20 inches of fiberglass, you probably do need to add some more. It's kind of an easy project. We've got a complete insulation guide that will walk you through the process of adding insulation at moneypit.com. All you have to do is search that insulation guide and you'll find it on the site. Also, the overhang should be fully vented. If you don't have enough vents in that soffit, that means that definitely could warm up and be a problem. So you want to make sure that you vent that area and don't block the flow with insulation. Now, if you don't do any of that and you get some ice and it turns out that you get leaks, then you could do a happy dance because that means you've got a defect that could be covered by your homeowner's insurance and they could be paying for a new roof. At which point you could install that ice and water shield, which is a type of roofing material that goes from the roof edge, kind of at the gutter, and then up 3 feet of the roof. It's not going to help you with the gutters that are getting frozen, but it will stop those leaks from getting inside the house. So it's sort of like a rubber membrane that just does a good job of preventing the leaks from getting in. And in fact, in southern states, even though they don't have ice damming, they do have terrible rain and terrible wind-driven rain and hurricanes. And in the southern states, they will use this ice and water shield as an underlayment for the entire roof.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I mean, it is really neat that it does have this other purpose given a completely different climate and its location in the country. But it's smart to use because it will prevent those leaks that could potentially happen. So lots of stuff to help you there, John. And Jim, it's your favorite part. Emails, helping people. I love it.
The emails are cool because you get them from, it's not just like, buddy calling you or texting you with a problem. Somebody you don't know from, middle of the country or one of the coasts. And you're able to basically help a total stranger. And then the follow-up calls we get are pretty cool. That, hey, thanks, you took the time to blah, blah, blah. And it's a good feeling.
It is really nice. And you know what, Jim? I'm going to miss it. I know you're going to miss it. So I'm going to call you with home improvement questions, and I expect you to do the same.
Oh, you can count on it, Leslie.
And Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our U.S.-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.